Hi, Will.
What's that?
Hello,
Oh.
Coulter.
Hey, Liv, is that reflection of the light right over my head annoying?
A little bit, but not too bad.
All right, hang on.
I mean, if you sit in front of it, then you can't really see it.
Hold me shut the light off. I'll be sharing my screen with you guys for most of it anyway, so. Carter Hagan, are you sitting in a laundry room?
I was on mute. Yeah, I am.
Banished to the laundry room, huh? Is the only place you can go to get away from all the brothers and sisters running around.
All right, there you go.
What's up, Logan?
Hello.
We'll give it a few minutes here still, guys. People are joining late, most likely.
Huh?
You gotta mute you up. Logan is muted. Well, I've got all you guys here. Are there any topics you want me to cover in these? Next week's supposed to be is the last planned one, but since we're gonna be on lockdown for a little bit longer, I'll come up with some more of these and put them together. Big no.
Do you have a plan for like the player development academy? Or like
In
have you
term-
thought about it? Like in terms of where trainings would be like, or I don't know.
No, not really. And still in the process of figuring that out, so when we can get back out, the nice thing is that this is happening now, where we can get outside. So I'll be able to offer training as soon as we can get back outside. But I'm looking for a space. Still hopeful that maybe I can get back into this space. Yes, Zach.
On the passing and receiving one, for like the laces hit kind of thing, where should I like stand and kind of lean over and hit it, or should I try and like
I'm sorry, which one?
the passing and receiving one? I don't really know which one it was, but it was the only one that you actually did against the wall.
Uh-huh.
So should I like hit it with my laces and then, or like lean over it and hit it, or should I try and like strike it, kind of? I don't know.
It really just depends on what you're working on, right? I mean, different techniques are going to call for different body
Right.
shapes. And, if you're working like you were in your garage, just on that foundation wall, and you want to keep it low, you're going to want to stay over the ball.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the technique you're working on.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. All right, Allie's here, Kate's here. Kate, how many masks have you made?
Oh, I've made like 20 or 30.
Nice work. Where are you handing them out, or where are you giving them to?
I'm giving them to like neighbors and stuff.
Gotcha. Very nice of you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. People have been joining pretty much anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes late, so we're not gonna wait too long here for everybody. Today's topic is on champion's mindset, or mindset of a champion. So I'm gonna share my screen with you guys as normal. All right, give me a thumbs up. Oh, where did you guys go? Can you see it? No? All right. One of these days I'll figure out what's going on with this. Hang on. Okay, too many things open here. All right, let me just start this over. What about now, Liv? What do you see?
It's still you.
Oh, that's, hang on. Where'd you guys go? What about now?
Yeah, it's good.
All right, good. And let me get you guys out of the way here. All right, so championship mindset. I want you guys to think real quick about what champions have that others don't. Players like Michael Jordan, if you've been watching the ESPN special on the Bulls, but more recently, Steph Curry, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Tobin Heath, Megan Rapinoe. Those are players that when you watch them play, you can just see the confidence that they play with. You can see the way they carry themselves, their body language, the choices they make, everything just exudes confidence. So that's kind of what we're looking at. You know, what at that level where everything's equal, where you've got all these great players, sets champions apart, and what things can you guys take from those types of players to start making yourself a better player? You know, one of the things I talk about with my teams all the time is, can we do the non-soccer things that make us better soccer players, and can we improve in those areas while we're improving in our soccer skills, to try to really give us an advantage? So developing confidence is going to be part of that for you guys, and that's what we'll go with today. So what you're going to see here, though, is confidence is a tricky thing. All right, and this quote sums it up really well. I found this quote as I was putting together the slides for you guys. But confidence comes naturally with success. The success only comes to those who are confident. So if you look at that quote, you need to be confident to achieve success, but you only achieve success once you become confident. So it sounds kind of tricky, right? You know, if you're supposed to be confident before you have success, but success builds confidence, how the heck are we supposed to become confident players? So that's kind of what we're going to dig into here today, is how you guys can start to become more successful or more confident to build your success, and not really rely on success, or maybe redefine what success is, so that you guys can build confidence through things that aren't result oriented. All right. I have a conversation with players a lot about self-confidence during their player evaluations. And one of the things that shows up a lot of times on player evaluations is a lack of confidence. You know, we talk to them about things like, you know, develop your technical skill, get more comfortable with the ball. So when you're on the ball, you're gonna be more confident. You'll be more confident in your decisions. Your body language improves. Your self-talk improves, and all those things. So that's part of it. But there's some other things we can start to understand. And one of the things I saw as I was researching how to talk to you guys about this and give you some ideas was this idea of how people wait to have confidence, or wait for certain things to happen to them before they become confident. You know, I need to play well in order to be confident. Well, really, you need to be confident in order to play well, right? The playing well is going to come after the confidence. If we put playing well first, well, we're going to struggle to get our confidence, because we know how that's going to end up. You know, it goes with a lot of things too. Motivation. Well, I need to be motivated before I go work out or go get these extra touches. Okay, well, the motivation is never going to come. You just need to go do it. So there's this have-do mentality. I need to have this before I do this. And we need to flip that to, I'm going to do this so that I can have this. So I'm going to work out more so that I can be more confident on the ball. So let's get into it a little bit here. So I want you guys right now to, and hopefully if you've got a piece of paper, great. If not, you can come back to this later on, but at least put some thought into it. But the first question I want you to ask yourself before we get started is, what is your definition of confidence? I'm going to give you a little bit of time, and I'll come back to these and ask you guys what your thoughts were. So if you have a chance to write them down, go ahead. All right, second question then is, how do you build confidence? And write down what your thoughts are on that. Take about 30 seconds. Should have warned you guys that this was going to be interactive, like the other two. All right, and the third question, I figure out who's not on mute there. Third question, why do people struggle with confidence? What things may force somebody or even yourself to struggle with their confidence? Again, take about 30 seconds on that one. All right, and don't freak out if you didn't get it down. It's not a test or anything. And you'll have a chance to do it later on if you'd like to. All right. So again, today we're talking about confidence. And in our previous lesson on staying positive, we talked a little bit about control, right? We live in the present. We have control over our thoughts and our actions in the present, and that's going to help us live at peace a little bit easier. So I want you to try to keep that in mind as we go through here, and it really relates to everything that we've talked about so far. But I want you, if you look back at your answers on what people struggle with confidence, the last question there, how many of those things are under your control? Were you writing things down like maybe the expectations of other people hurt my confidence or make me struggle with my confidence, failing or making mistakes? Criticism of other people hurts my confidence. Maybe it's your teammates, parent, coach, being compared to other players, feeling like you're not as good as other players because you're constantly compared to them, whether maybe your parents are comparing you to another player on the team, your coach is comparing you, asking you, why aren't you doing these things like so and so? If you're looking at this right, you're most likely going to see that the majority of the things, if not all of the things on your list that are reasons you struggle with confidence are probably outside of your control, right? They're issues that you can't set a goal to achieve or overcome or things like that. How many of you guys, you can raise your hands, would say that your confidence struggles because you feel like your coach is going to pull you out if you make a mistake? All right. How many think your confidence struggles because your teammates are going to get mad at you if you don't do what they think is the right thing, or you make a mistake? Couple hands up. All right. How many of you struggle with confidence because your parents or your coach compares you to other players on your own team, or maybe it's compares you to a brother or sister that plays as well? All right, so the reason I'm going over control a little bit here is what I want you guys to think about. Instead of just confidence, what we're really talking about today is going to be your self-confidence. All right, and this is all about you having confidence in yourself. Confidence can be looked at two ways. You can be confident in things outside of you, right? You can be confident that tomorrow you're not going to school, right? We're still in the COVID-19 lockdown, so you're not going to school. You can be confident in that decision. But there's self-confidence, and I put self in all caps here because I want you guys to really focus on that aspect of this, that this is about you being confident in yourself. All right. So let's define confidence so that we're all on the same page here as we talk about it. All right. And then we can go back to some of the other stuff. But if we define confidence, and if you actually, let's do this. Is anybody willing to share what their definition of confidence was from the first question I asked you? I don't see any hand. I've only got a couple people on the screen here, so if you want to unmute yourself and no hands going up. All right. Well, confidence can be defined as self-trust. All right, trusting ourselves. Get guess the next thing that we would need to do then is define what we're talking about when we say the word trust. Well, what does it mean to trust? All right. So trust would be to be able to rely on someone or something else, something outside of us. Then if we're going to make it self-trust, then it's to rely on ourselves. So confidence can be defined as the ability to rely on ourselves. All right. And what I don't want you to do is flip that around and make that to rely on our ability, because sometimes that's not going to be under our control, right? A ball takes a bad bounce, things like that. So it's our ability just to rely on ourselves. And our confidence is going to come from our actions rather than the outcomes of those actions. Okay. So what does confidence look like? And I've got a video that I'm going to show you guys, but to set it up a little bit, I want you to first kind of go through and think about some times where you felt unconfident in a game, and think about what it led to. What were the situations that happened after, the outcomes of that lack of confidence, whether it was a bad game, a missed shot, but thinking about how you felt in those moments and the pressure that was brought from those moments and what it may have done to your performance. All right. So several years ago, she's graduating college, just graduated college this year. And was drafted by a Chicago Red Star, a player named Zoe Morse out of East Lansing. And she played for Coach Eric and Coach Stacy at TNT Dynamite, the club that we used to coach at before we started Cap City. And she used to train with my older teams. She was a couple years younger than the age group I was coaching, but she would always come up and train with us. She was obviously a very strong player. She went on to play in the youth national team, both at, I believe, U17 and U20. And she had an experience here that I want to show you guys. All right. So bear with me. This is the first time I've done this. Oh, that's not it. Liv, heads up. You see YouTube now? Yeah.
I think so.
Just a big red stripe right now. All right. So 2-minute video here for you guys to watch. All right. You guys still hear me? Somebody shake their head. Yes, you can hear me here. Yeah. All right. So I want you guys to take a moment to think about the amount of pressure on Zoe at this time. All right. She was the 4th kicker at the U17 World Cup qualifier. All right. That kick she missed, had she made that, it would have allowed them to move on into another kicker. But her miss sent them home from the tournament. So the U.S. national team, the U17 national team at the time, did not qualify for the World Cup because of that miss by Zoe. All right. So think about it, as she's walking up to take this kick 4 years later, it's the exact same field and even the exact same referee. Think about what might be going through your mind at a time like that. And remember, you guys are lining up at half, and you have to walk all the way from half to the penalty spot by yourself to pick up that ball before you strike it. So you've got all that time to yourself. All right. So think about that as you watch what happens here. So I just want to go back here. That's something that Zoe says just after this. All right, I want you to listen to it again. So what did she say there? She said, I was confident this time. I knew I put in the work. Right? So she wasn't concerned about the outcome at that time. Her confidence wasn't hinged to whether or not she was going to make this kick. She was confident because of all the things she'd done leading up to that. So on her walk up, what do you think she's thinking about in that moment? The result? Or is she thinking about all the time she spent at practice working on penalty kicks? And interestingly, when we were putting together those passing workouts for you guys, Zoe obviously was one of the people working out in those videos. And I had a chance to talk to her before we got started about this instance, about this situation that she found herself in. I said, did you do anything between the two World Cup qualifiers that helped you with your confidence? Did you do any mental skills development? And she said she'd done quite a bit, actually, and she'd done some meditation and learned how to meditate, and done some other mental skills things like visualization and relaxation techniques that had allowed her to be very calm in that moment. But again, I just want to go back to, she had confidence in her preparation, and therefore she trusted her ability to be courageous in that moment. Think about the amount of courage it would take to step up and do something like that on that stage. And I'm sure some of you guys have been there where you've gone to take a penalty kick. Hang on, there's somebody in the chat room. Sorry, guys, I'm just seeing. Can you guys hear all right? Yeah. All right. Something's not working with speaker of the video. Oh, I apologize if you can't see it. I'm not seeing many reactions from you guys. If I ask if you can hear, yes. Liv, are you hearing all right?
I can hear you now.
Were you able to see the video?
It was very glitchy. Like it showed like pictures. Like I don't know how to describe it.
Holden, were you able to, or Zach, were you able to see it?
Yeah, it was really laggy. I just saw a few like pictures basically. And your voice was lagging when you were playing it too.
All right. Let me try something else here. All right, you guys seeing the video, YouTube on my screen? All right, let me try this again, guys. I'm going to share a different screen with you. Kind of all hinges around that video, so I want you guys to be able to see it. Let me share this YouTube screen with you. Of course, no, this isn't working here. Here it was. I think I was going to impress you guys with my technology skills as the old person here. Are you seeing the YouTube channel now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just play it straight from here and hopefully you guys will see it a little bit easier. Is it playing pretty clearly?
Yeah, but it's on mute.
Good to go. All right. Well, that's not the right video. All right, here we go. We'll display it there for you. If not, I can tell you the story later. All right, guys. Some people are reporting still glitching, so I'm going to ahead and move on. If you want to see the video, though, just Google redemption song, U20 women's national team defender Zoe Morris takes her shot. Or just do what I do and Google Zoe Morris penalty kick, and you'll should be the first thing that comes up. So let me get back to video or the slide presentation. Sorry, my computer's being really slow right now. And let me get caught up here. Too far. All right, so what I was talking about, guys, was what I wanted you to really listen to is what Zoe said in that period between the two shots, where she says, I was confident this time. I knew I put in the work. Sorry, my dogs are fighting now. Go on, hey, out. So she had confidence in her preparation, and therefore she trusted her ability to be courageous in that moment. So what I want you guys to see there is how her confidence was tied to the things she had control over, her preparation, both mentally and physically. When I talked to her this winter, before we did those passing and receiving series, she talked about the things she'd done from visualization to meditation, things like that to really help her stay calm in that moment. So she prepared herself to be confident should that moment ever come up again, not knowing whether or not she'd ever be in that situation. And ironically, it was the same field and the same referee. So again, confidence not being tied to the result, because like we've talked about in the past, the result isn't something we have control over. We want to make sure that we're tying our confidence to those things that we do have control over. So again, preparation, whether it's mental or physically. But if you guys think back to the things you were answering before, you know, what would your confidence look like in that moment if it was tied to the outcome? And it probably would be pretty bad. You'd be worried about all the fans, what your teammates think. I can't believe my coach picked me for this. I missed last time. I was the fourth shooter. It put me in the same field, all that stuff. So her confidence would have been shattered had she tied it to those things. But instead, again, she tied it to what she had control over. So, so as we're going through, and these are some of the things, sorry, just other things on my screen that are bugging me. These are some of the things we did last time in the last talk too, and this is about staying positive and overcoming mistakes, but giving you guys some tools for building confidence. So one of the things we've talked about is using best friend advice or your self-talk. You know, how would you talk to somebody else going into that situation? So if you find yourself in a situation where, you know, hey, I missed my last penalty kick and now I've got to take one. I can't believe coach put me in this situation. What would you say to a friend that was going through that? And can you turn your self-talk into that best friend advice, or you're developing your inner coach at that point? So that, you know, as it says here, if you're giving your advice or giving advice to your best friend, it's based on love and care. When you take that advice as your own, that's what good dialogue looks like from an inner coach. So building your confidence through trusting that advice that you would give to somebody else but are now giving to yourself. All right. Another tool that you can use is to plan positive, all right, or plan for being positive. And we talked about this previously as well, but go through and think about times where you're not confident. Right now, we've got a ton of time for you guys to spend some time thinking about stuff like that, you know, and talking your way through it. Is there a better way you could have talked to yourself, both from the content and the tone of your voice, right? The tone of your inner voice is going to matter just as much as if you were talking to a teammate. I have a conversation a lot of times with my players that you're giving good information, but the tone you're using is the problem. You're turning people off by the tone, right? Or if you're talking to teammates and you're asking them to be calm, but you're screaming it, probably not going to calm them down. So the tone that we use with ourselves is just as important. So one of the things you can do as you're going through this is use plan positive cards and literally write down tough situation. What is it? Missed penalty kick. The content of your self-talk or your positive inner voice, your inner coach is going to be, I've put the work in. I know that I've put the work in to be in this position. And then the tone you're going to use is confident, or maybe it's positive. All right. So the next time that you find yourself in that situation, you've already practiced it. All right. You've created this opportunity to just be able to quickly switch into confident, positive inner coach with a positive, confident tone of voice. All right. Another tool, replace the negative. So pay attention to the dialogue in your head. When you see a thought that contains self-doubt, I can't do this, I'm going to miss this, interrupt it, cut it off, and replace it with a thought that contains self-trust. Okay, again, that's what we define competence as, was self-trust, being able to trust our ability to trust ourselves, to do something, or to act properly, or to have courage. All right. Next one will be replace the negative, or well, sorry, that was, replace the negative. Still there. So 3 steps to getting back to positive once you go negative is acknowledge the thought. And the more times you guys can use your journals, I would say, is probably one of the best ways to do it, to talk about with yourself, your self-talk, and boy, I was really negative in this moment, or I caught myself saying this about myself, and things that we've talked about in our previous sessions. But making sure that you're able to catch yourself quickly. You go, oh, that is not the kind of thought I want to have right now. That's not the self-talk I want to have. So we acknowledge it, then we interrupt it, and then once we've done that, we can replace that thought. Right? We don't want those thoughts to start talking to us. We want to start talking to ourselves and replacing those thoughts with better, more positive thoughts, again, based on your preparation, your mental preparation, your physical preparation, your past good experiences. All right. And number 4, opportunity converter. And I believe we talked a little bit about this when we went over how to get over mistakes quickly last week, but looking for those opportunities or those times where something is, you've been unconfident or you've been showing a lack of confidence, and how can you take those things and turn them into a situation where it's an opportunity to build confidence versus one that can destroy your confidence. So, think back to the season where maybe you got pulled out for a mistake, or maybe coach barked at you, or maybe a teammate barked at you a little bit, but could you have used that situation to help build your confidence versus let it tear you down and let it, again, something you weren't controlling, that outside voice, could you have turned that into an opportunity to practice resilience like we talked about last week? All right, the last tool I've got for you would be use your performance journals. All right, building confidence through your performance journals is a great way for you guys to make sure that you're doing it on a regular basis, you're practicing positive. But what I want you to start doing is going through after games and practices and write down, what did I do well today and why? All right, your confidence is going to be tied partly to how well you're playing. There's no way we're ever going to get rid of that. You're always going to have some doubt creep in if you're not playing well. But if you can start focusing more on the positives and the things you are doing well versus being negative and focusing on those all the time, then you're going to start to realize that, hey, I'm better than I'm giving myself credit for. All right. So using your journal to write down, what did I do well today and why? And then what can I do better and how? And I want you to notice how that's phrased. It's not what did I do poorly today, or where did I screw up and how can I fix it? There's no negative language in that, right? You don't have to be doing something poorly to be able to do it better the next time, right? Maybe you've been focusing on a certain technique that you want to get better at, right? And you did well, but you still want to get better. So what could you have done better in that regard with that technique or a tactic or something like that? Or maybe it's within school. And how can you get better at it? How can you continue to improve? So acknowledging that you have improved, and then finding a plan to get better at it. So if you're working on your juggling right now, did you use your left foot better today? Maybe you didn't hit the number that you wanted to hit. So that's all I've got with that, with the slide presentation. So I apologize that the video didn't work very well. I don't know what's going on. I think maybe with everybody sitting online these days and watching a bunch of Netflix and YouTube and what else? I got Hulu and Amazon Prime going around here. So does anybody have any questions? Coulter, is that you? I saw you had a hand up over there. No, you're just chowing away on something. All right. Anybody? Where did the chat go here? No? All right. Well, I'm not going to go around the room and ask everybody if they've got anything. If you are struggling with this though, guys, if you want to get a hold of me, feel free, just like I've been saying in the last several ones. I haven't heard from anybody yet, but if you need anything, reach out to me, reach out to your coaches. And if there's any way we can help you with your confidence or give you some other tips and tools, we'd love to be able to do that for you. All right. All right. Cool. Thanks for the heads up over there, Avery, or the thumbs up, I guess. Johnny, thumbs up. Zach, thumbs up. And is he clapping at me? Is that a golf clap? All right. Thanks, guys. I will let you guys go. Again, if you need anything, reach out. I'd love to hear from you guys. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining tonight.
Bye.
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 See you, Logan.
Bye.
Better get some laundry done later in there. Oh, he's gone. Bye.
How do you get off?
Is there an end meeting button down in the corner?
Oh, found it. Bye bye.
See you, bud.
Thank you.
Yep.